G'day, this is Captainoob, and this is a Pulemyot 762. This is a weapon that has been ported from Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2023 based on a big Russian machine gun called the PKP Pecheneg, or if you're Darth Vader, the Paching. The PKP is an improvement above its predecessor in the PKM in a few key areas. This thing manages its heat a whole lot better, has a different barrel setup and allows for greater cooling of the barrel, so you'll be able to fire it more reliably and accurately over range for a little bit longer. It also has the ability to mount telescopic sights on the top there, so if you're a machine gunner, throw a scope on this thing and you'll be substantially more accurate over range. As a Call of Duty port, this thing has custom sounds, custom animations like you'd expect, with a few quirks which we'll get to as we get to them. But let's go into the customization. First of all, we've got the receivers. We're going to scroll all the way down. Auto powerful receiver for a big 7.62 shooting machine gun. That is a pretty damn good start. Keep in mind that we're going to have a slightly lower rate of fire for a video game balance. That makes sense, but for DPS wise, it's going to hurt us a little bit. This thing is going to be a little bit slower than your average gun in full at 4, so just be wary of that. Missed shots will punish you a little bit more, but it's an LMG, so if you miss a few shots, then just make sure the next 10 hit. You've got a magazine capacity of like 1 trillion, so it's fine. We've got a legendary effect for We've got a legendary effect here provided by legendary modification. We'll skip over that. And this tactical slot, you utilize a little Picatinny rail at the front for a laser sight in many different forms. You'll find there's blue beams, red beams, and also green beams. So pick whichever one you want, except for this Corio one, because I don't like my northern Geelong suburbs. What a shithole. Next, we've got the stocks, and you can throw on some stocks here to help reduce the recoil of this massive beast. So if we throw on, say, this FT TAC Elite stock, that'll give us a generic Call of Duty description, which offers no bearing. There's a couple in here that says, like, the suppressors, for example, says they hide you from a minimap which doesn't exist, at least not to the player. So if we're hiding from all of the NPCs from the minimap, I suppose there's a tactical advantage into that. Right now, I've got only 107 range. You can upgrade that to 191 using this ST Pyro Heavy Barrel, and that's immediately shifted us over to our muzzle slots. You can have a bunch of recoil compensating things or a few suppressors here. This monolithic suppressor, L. I'm guessing that means large. That looks like a PBS suppressor, actually, which makes sense. Hopefully it doesn't, melt off the front of the barrel as we're firing for this thing. But there we go. You've also got options for muzzle brakes, compensators, and yeah, even more suppressors. Plenty of attachments here, probably all doing the same sort of thing, but the customization, I think, is nice as it is. This one is a bipod thing. You can have that. You can throw that on. It gives you, better accuracy when mounted. Well, we can't do that. We can get on the floor, and it's a heavy gun, so it probably won't actually go working with the prone mode, but it looks cool, I suppose. It's a machine gun-like thing to have a bipod. Next, we've got the sights. Now, this one, you can utilize that Picatinny rail to mount on all of your Call of Duty reflex sights, including some of these which are of Russian origin. So I think a monocle will do the job here. There's also one of those holographic Russian sights, and maybe, just maybe, there's one of those Cobra RDS things hidden somewhere. There's also options for having scopes up to 4 times, which will be fairly useful. A see-through scope there, so we're going to have to suffer through the recoil animation as we're firing, but having that extra telescopic viewpoint of your enemies will be good for a ranged approach for this thing, which we'll explore in time. But for now, we'll move on to the magazines. A 200 round magazine is the highest rounds you can get. It'll cost you a little bit of weight. We're almost up to 60 pounds at this point. And that's immediately moved us on to the pistol grips, which you can't really see in first person or anything, but pick what you want. That one looks pretty comfortable, so we'll throw that one on. And next, we can do a little bit of tinkering with its ammos. So the ones that you might want to look at here is the high velocity. That'll increase your range by a huge amount. So if you're using a scope and you want to use this thing as a proper sniper LMG, then that is a very strong pick for that. But for all out damage, this over-pressured one here will give you a nice little boost. That's pretty good. There's also got a slight accuracy boost out of this round nose round, but nowhere near as the damage bonus as your over-pressured. So that's the way you want to go. There's also incendiary, a bit of flavor, but meh. Frangible, delays healing. Maybe that you could argue that should do some bleeding damage as well, but no indication that actually happens. And armor piercing, I mean, it's good, but you'd rather have that little bit of extra damage, so you could get the multipliers to boost off it should you try and use sneak criticals. And is that everything? I think it is. Oh, wait, there's some skins which I don't particularly like. No way, that's far too clean. I'll have standard, thank you very much. We might explore those things on other machine guns, but none of these I find are particularly appealing. No, they look more like Nerf blasters when I put that on. Also, an extraneous damage slider for you, so if it's not doing quite enough damage for you, you can shoot it up to plus 90% if you feel like it, but not going for that realistic of a machine gun today. We'll stick with this one. We'll recreate a few more of these. I'll show you how to do it, and then we'll get started. On your chemistry workbench, you'll find Pulemyot 762 down here in weapons. You can craft it with an assault rifle, 1 adhesive, 12 aluminum, 9 plastic, 14 screws, 6 springs, 7 steel. You can also craft the proprietary ammo that this mod includes. So there's no munitions here. This is just stuff on its own. And you can craft them in bulk for even more. So 100 lead and 200 steel gives you 2,000 of those rounds. 10 and 20 respectively gives you 200. Makes sense? Cool. Alrighty, we're outside Immersive Gunners Plaza now, and here we are. Here is our PKP Pecheneg in first person. And with the suppressor, it sounds like this. And is accurate. That's good news. Also, for some reason, there's a tactical reload version of this, which I think is taking the piss. So I like that. I don't think I downloaded that particular mod, but yeah, looks like with the suppressor setup here and a recoil compensating stock and pistol grip, it's going to be fairly easy to control. And here's the reload animation, by the way. You might notice that there's a little bit of bullets floating. That's just friendly ghost Casper holding them, just in case I forget to reload. Those bullets will disappear, I guess. I'm not sure what's going on there. Actually, I do know exactly what's going on there. There's some third-person bugs with the animation, but they're the things that rattle and move around as you're firing. You can barely see it in first person, but that attention to detail, I think, is kind of neat. This is my sniper status one, by the way, with the 4x scope. A little less easy to control. I might have a different setup on this thing to make it less easy to control, but it's got that extra magnification, which might make it hard. And lastly, we've got this one, Loud and Proud with iron sights, because there's a few iron sight stands have found my COD Port videos and they complain every time, so why not appease them? It's got a reload animation in first person as well. You've seen it in third. You've seen it in both now. If you're wondering what this scarf is all about, wow. Okay, let us begin. Finally, it's about time. We'll start off with our sniper one and just keep in mind that I'm using the high velocity rounds on this bad boy, so we should be getting at least as maximum damage. That was a nice ragdoll. I'm not sure if that was just because the round was so massive there, or it was just one of those lucky mid-animation hits that I got her in, but yeah, that's good. Let's just slow the tempo down a little bit, do a little bit of Scott Pendleburying, just slow time. If you know, you know. And if we can seek out these cheeky, easy headshots, it's a one-shot kill every time. So I'm thinking it was a pretty good idea to get these rounds of the high velocity in here. But if we want more damage, and I want to get more damage, then we can use these over-pressured rounds at a slightly closer range. We'll be able to take advantage of that. Now, here's the thing about this thing. I found that the recoil... Yes, it's not much. It's not very substantial, but the hipfire accuracy is supreme. And sometimes if you're just standing still, maybe not in this case, but I found that the crosshairs will completely turn into a cross, which is good for accuracy purposes. So if you want, you can get away with just completely Ramboing with this thing and not even bothering to aim down sights at all. So if you've got a scope on this thing, you don't want to carry too much of these around for purposes of carry weight and stuff, you could put a big scope on this thing, get your heavy gunner perks, get your steady hands perks for hit by accuracy, and play like Russian Rambo, which would be called Rambo the Red, which I'm sure would piss off a lot of Americans, because he's an American hero, right? He's Sylvester Stallone, for God's sake. Anyways, so far so good. Not having real problems here. This thing is obviously hitting them quite hard. Less hard without the suppressor because we don't have Ace Operator backing us, but even then, it's still doing a fantastic job. And look at that. That's supreme hipfire accuracy. If we had a laser sight on that, I'm sure it would be a complete cross. But we don't have that in this one. This one's just got the garish looking skins that I found. But that's what it looks like. Also, you might notice how the casings are ejecting on the side of the shooter. Normally, machine guns don't do that, or guns in general don't do that. But I don't know, maybe they're built different in Russia. They laugh when all of these hot shell casings land in them. Anyway, so we've activated Nerd Rage there at a pretty opportune moment. We can get a few amount of decent kills here, and as time has sort of slowed down, we'll just crack this open, and we'll feast upon the gunners inside, or the PKP will. Exactly. There's usually a few people in here. I think oh, one of them's cloaked. The Invisible Man is back. There's the bashing animation, by the way. May as well use that to finish them off. We've run out of bullets for this thing. Actually, we've got another one loaded. We don't have to reload at all. You see Ivan. You see that meme? That's kind of an old meme, but it's relevant here. Anyways, I suppose whilst we've got a little bit of downtime, we'll go through 3 jet-infused reloads. See, a lot of modders, they tune their animations to work without use of the fast hands perk, but guess what? I'm going to use it, and I'm not going to take it away at the behest of modders who should know that players are going to be utilizing perks that are present in the vanilla game to boost their gameplay, to enhance their gameplay, to boost their skills. Looks like we're back into Nerve Rage again at this point. Can we get another bout of slowdown? Yep. We immediately get 1,300 damage points on that guy's head with an idiot savant proc because it's the last one. We may have wasted our Destroyer of Acadia on these guys, but somehow I don't think that'll be too much of a problem. Also, it works with classic holstered weapons, so perhaps it's a commando-based weapon. Not really sure what's going on here. Go the pies, let's move on to the next one. Okay, so the Swan on this occasion has decided to chase some Cazadors down to that area, and he's aggroed a bunch of ghouls while he's at it, so took those out, and now we can get started on shooting him. Okay, you're just gonna let this happen, are ya? Well, as you were, mate. Okay, now he's moving. I don't know what exactly is happening to his AI there, but full sneak criticals, you just got completely melted. And with less than a magazine, too. That's less than a 20 steel and 20 lead going into that, so that's pretty good. Or is it 10 lead? You get the idea. It's pretty efficient on its ammo consumption if you've got it set up to do maximum sneak crit. Just realized I haven't really been using this thing in VATS, so let's change that. We're gonna go full VATS criticals on this guy's head. We're only getting 4 shots for a machine gun. It's a 3-round burst. Wouldn't mind seeing a big 10-round burst for a machine gun like this, but I think that's fine as is. Now, the trick here is to not get immediately killed by him, and the way we can avoid that is just to sort of back off and keep spamming rounds at him. We've got a machine gun. We miss 1 or 2 here and there. It's fine. We don't have to worry about it that much. And he is completely staggered and dancing around. He was dancing around so much, but too bad for him. He's such a big boy that I'm going to be hitting him anyway. Man, that these floating bullets in third person, they're gonna bug someone. I'm guessing that also happens if you give this weapon to an NPC as well, which would cause issues, I think, but whatever. I think the third person animation of just the stance has changed a little bit. It looks like she's standing a little bit differently. Normally they're sort of lurching forward a little bit, but that is like a straight back sort of thing right there. Maybe that's just because the thing is so big. Also, the casings and the connectors ejecting there, that's got a probability of falling right into your shirt. So maybe, I don't know, that might, you've got the scarf there, that'll protect you. All right, our last fight is going to be on the big bear over there, and we've got a little bit of backup with us, and can confirm
wait there.
That it looks like the bullets are floating in midair on an NPC holding this thing. So
come on,
whatever, that's fine. We'll start off by getting as many sneak criticals as possible, but I'm going to be a little bit weaker here thanks to the fact that, well, I don't have Lone Wanderer active anymore. So I think my aim here is to kill all the little ones first so they don't run up and stagger Nina until she dies, although that big one's probably going to get on top of her and then, yeah, eat her. That's a really bad bear. Okay, she's down already. This hasn't gone off to the greatest start, so we'll just fend off the little ones and try to make sure that big one sort of overruns and maybe gets himself stuck somewhere to allow me to get those couple extra seconds to revive. There you go, that's good enough. Let's pick it back up. Okay, we copped a little bit of damage there, but we need some DPS, Nina, so hit him. There's a bear somewhere. Okay, at this stage, I'm a little bit in need of some healing. I think there's some barrels somewhere around here which we can dance around to quickly regenerate our health. Or he'll get himself nice and stuck on something. That's good. Need something like a punt gun to make sure we stagger this guy, but we're not getting super lucky on staggers thus far. But anyways, that's Nerd Rage. If he's good on attacking me, this is a lot of good damage that Nina's getting whilst he's focused on me. Where's he going? What's he gonna do? Slap at nothing. That's great news. We can really make use out of all of this Nerd Rage and get all of these criticals sent at once. Yes, target me, target me, target me. Oh boy. One big tough bear. I think the job would be done already if Nina had a laser rifle that I made for her, but alas, not the case. So now we gotta, I don't know, he's gonna camp a card there. Won't be able to get that reboot off. There's your Fortnite reference. Knew I play Fortnite. Does that ruin my reputation? Probably. Anyways, so whilst he's around there, we'll jam another stim pack into her spine and fail. That didn't work out. Maybe she needs another one after being down too many times. Who knows? Caused a little bit of health regen, but not much. Ooh. Dodged him there. In the shoulder this time. Much better. That's a much better response. And whilst I'm got a little bit of downtime. 152 rounds. Yeah, definitely time to reload. Alright. Execute a critical if we can. Got one back. That's great news. And now, he's going to go beat up Nina again. I didn't mean for you to be the tank there, but it is what it is. How you feeling? Any worse for wear? Nope. Not a single bit of scarring or blood on her. I think she's just fine. Alrighty, so that there was the Pulemyot. It's a PKP machine gun. The cod name is just like what? That's the first word of the PKP, Pulemyot. Means machine gun or something. But anyways, if you are impressed with this weapon or would like to see it in your game, check out the link in the description. I'd quite like it. There are other options for PKP machine guns already out there, but as a COD port, this one goes pretty well. You're stretching the lore-friendly element on it with when you get bringing in extra franchisal sort of machine guns based off real ones, but you know, maybe you could make the argument that yes, this thing is lore-friendly because it's like a gun that existed at some point. So maybe not strong in the lore-friendliness, but as a COD port, it's a pretty strong mod in and of itself. So if you want to see this thing in your game, check out the link in the description. Hopefully someone out there will port this as a COD weapon. So I mean, the Xbox port, so you console players can use this, but if you're on PS4 though, you're out of luck, sorry. Anyways, that's it for me. Thank you very much for watching, guys. And what are you staring at? Ah, looks like the head tracking is still on Nina. I had to get a follower pistol mod just to hit her once and then make sure she's a follower to actually get it to work because the scripting's broken. Because this save was made when she was when the mod was in its infancy, when I haven't put any of the scripting together. So that's why we're getting the head tracking, but just looking, just watching, can't take your eyes off. Focus. That happens sometimes with NPCs. Like, I've shot at a gunner before and, like, you'd stare at their corpse for ages like that. It's kind of weird how that works. At least I don't have that mod that makes Nora talk every 2 seconds. I watch gameplay with that, and as soon as I see them watch that, I'd either hit mute or just click off the video because too much talking in Fallout games, no, it's not good. Anyways, that's it for me. Thank you very much for watching, guys.